everybody, and welcome to the Paletti Rosa Homestead. My name is Donna, and today I am going to be making some bread and butter pickles. I harvested these pickles the last couple days, and they are more than ready. So basically, in order to make your bread and butter pickles, you need your cucumbers, and I also use Mrs. Wage's bread and butter pickle mix. It works great. And since everybody wants pickles this year for Christmas, I figured this is the time to start. So basically all you need with this is 9 to 11 pounds of pickling cucumbers. I do not have that many right now, but I'm gonna make this full package, and whatever liquid I do not use, I'll store it in the refrigerator because in the next couple days I'll be getting more and more cucumbers, I'm sorry. And you also need 6 3/4 cups of white distilled vinegar. You need some sugar, and you need a pouch that I have right here. So let's get started. Okay, so what I'm doing first is I'm taking 6 3/4 cups of your white distilled vinegar. And when you use white distilled vinegar, make sure on the bottom, you probably can't see it there, but it says 5% acidity. So there is my vinegar. And now I'll get my sugar and other things going. Be right back. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding 7 cups of sugar. Now it sounds like a lot, but what it is most of it's going to be cut, will be cut down during the process of cooking it. See if that's the works. There we go. Okay. So you want to combine both of them together, and you want to put it on the stove, and you want it to come to a boil. I did wash, all my cucumbers have been washed, so that part's taken care of. I brought down 6-quart jars, so we'll see what it makes. And they're all cleaned and sanitized. So it says to add Mrs. Wage's. So you need all your 3 things combined together: your vinegar, your sugar, and your mix. You don't have to stir it a lot, but you have to stir it in the beginning to at least get everything moved around. Okay, now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting my cucumbers. Usually I would use my mandolin, but I don't have many right here, and I want to cut them a little bit on the thicker side this time. Last time I cut them like paper thin, and I really didn't like it that much. So the directions say, you can barely read it. Cut them into 1/16 of an inch. This is the size I like mine. But you can do it any which way you want. So I'm going to cut these all up. And then I'll bring you back in. Okay? See you in a bit. Okay, so I got all my pieces cut up. And I wanted to show you that these pieces, the end pieces that I cut off, you want to save them and throw them in your compost bin. Does great. So just cut them up, put them in a dish, and when you're done, put them in your compost bin, your compost bin. Okay, here's my first jar. And what you're gonna do is you are gonna load your jar up. You're gonna pack them. Now what I'm doing here is, I'm looking while I'm doing it because I have some really big ones. So I may do them separately. So I'm kind of watching what I'm doing. So in case you're watching me, that I've got some, I'm kind of separating them. That's why. I figured I'd do some of the bigger ones in a smaller jar and leave the regular size ones for just in here. Ugh, they're all falling all over the place. Okay, so I'm filling this jar up, and it said to leave about a 1/2 inch headspace. I don't like to leave a 1/2 inch headspace too much. I'll throw like some smaller ones up on the top, but what I usually do is I do it right to the top of that first rim. Get one more in there. And then I'm going to take my liquid. Stir it up really good because you want all those seeds to get really in there really good. And just 1 second. I like to deviate a little bit from the recipe. And I have some small little garlic pieces. They're just small. And I am putting them in here with it just to give it a little bit of a nicer taste to it. And then again, each time you dip in, make sure you stir it so those mustard seeds and stuff like that can get all around, and you get them in each one, in each jar. I forgot that. Again, stir it up really good. And this one you want to fill up to. Okay. You want to leave at least a 1/4 inch of headspace so there's not much in there. There's not much open room in there. Just a little bit. Then you want to take a debubbler. I don't have an actual debubbler. I just use one of my rubber things. You want to make sure you get down to the bottom. And the reason why you're doing this is to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. And of course, all your pickles and stuff are gonna rise up. You just wanna go back and you wanna push them back down again so that they're underneath the liquid. Look again, I'm in good shape. So now what I wanna do is I wanna take and clean my jars. This is one of the most important things that you ever do when canning, preserving whatever. Take some white vinegar on a rag, paper towel, and wipe your rims. If you do not do this during the process of canning, it's not going to, the lid will not seal down. And that's because there's probably vinegar or one of your herbs that may be across the top of it. Okay, and then you want to get one of your, what are called flats. Put it on. And then take your rim, screw it on. And then do finger, just like that. Don't over push or whatever. And then just lay that on the side. Not lay it, put it on the side. Whoops. And that's what you want to do basically with all your jars. Pickling is extremely easy. It is a very, very easy task to do. And it's fun. Get them all in there nice and tight. Okay, and then again, stir your liquid. Then make sure you debubble. If you do not debubble, what could happen is there could be an air pocket in there, and any of the pickles that are in the air pocket way, they're going to go bad. Wipe your rims off. Wait, I forgot. I always put my rims down and can't remember where I put them. Just screw on lightly and then do a little finger. Okay, when I'm all done of putting all the pickles in, I will be right back, okay? Now I did a little bit of cleaning up and stuff before I started on the next part, but I wanted to let you all know something. This is how I buy my white vinegar. And it's because I use a lot of it for canning and stuff. And if you've watched a previous video, I showed you how to do milk carton lettuce. These are great for it also. You don't have to have a milk carton. You just have to have a carton that's got like plastic and it's got a nice part below. And I don't know if you could see it, but see that line right there? You want to cut. Do not cut in front of the handle right here. Cut about a ½ inch over and go all the way around it until you're about ½ inch. Pull the top part back, fill the bottom part with some dirt and some lettuce seeds, leaving the top open, and put it out, and of course you gotta water it. Put tape around where you just got done cutting it, put it outside. When it rains, it will turn around and water your plant. Oh, also, make sure you put some holes underneath so that the water drainage, put it outside, and you will grow lettuce like crazy. And this way it's great because you can move it around in different spots wherever you have room to put it. Okie doke, I will be right back. I have to run downstairs and go get my canner, my water bath canner, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm filling my water bath canner. The difference between water bath canning and pressure canning is typically anything that's very high in acid, which would be your pickles, tomatoes, any kind of jams and jellies, you can water bath can. Water bath canning is extremely easy, extremely. Anything else, meats, soups, anything like that has to be pressure canned because there's really no acidity in it. And you fill up the water bath canner and you put your jars in it. With a water bath canner, you must fill the water at least 1 inch above the top of the jars. Once you get that in there, then what I do is, because we have very hard water here, I like my jars to look pretty, so I add some white distilled vinegar to it. Then what you do is you put it on the stove, and excuse me one moment. Now by the sink here, I don't fill it up all the way, and that's because it just gets a little bit too heavy for me. So just give me a moment. And let me bring you over this way. Okay, that was all the noise, that thing. And then what I'll do is I will fill this the rest of the way right here. You bring it to a boil. Now for quarts, you do 15 minutes, but because I am a high altitude, I live in the mountains, I have to add on 5 minutes with everything. So I'll be doing these for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you turn the heat off and then just let them sit in the water for about 5 minutes. And then you just take them out, leave them on a towel or on the other stove, on the other part of the stove that's not hot. And you let it sit there. I try to leave it on about 12 hours so that it could finish the whole entire process. Then what you do is, most of the people that's been canning for years do not do this, but you're supposed to take the rings off your jar. That is the part that you screw on. And that's so that if you do not get a good seal and it pops open, you can get it right away. Okie doke. So I will see you at the very end of the process when they come out. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. Okay, here is the end. It is the end results. I got 5 quarts of bread and butter pickles. Don't they look fabulous? Now as time goes on, the pickles will settle down and your liquid would be at the top. Have a good day, everybody.